Some of the foods you buy every week are not what they claim to be. Supermarkets know exactly how to make you pay more for less by hiding behind comforting words like fresh, wild, and natural. And here's the kicker. You've been paying for it all along without even realizing it. In this video, we'll reveal 7 of the biggest supermarket food tricks designed to fool even smart shoppers. You'll never trust those bright labels the same way again after hearing these truths. Number 1. The freshly baked bread illusion. You think that warm-smelling, freshly baked bread means your loaf was made this morning? But what if I told you it was frozen long ago, shipped across states, and only finished in the oven right before you walked in? That golden crust, that aroma, it's all part of an illusion. Supermarkets use shortcuts that save them time and money. Instead of mixing flour, yeast, and water in the back room, they often rely on par-baked loaves or frozen dough blocks. These arrive from giant factories already shaped and partly cooked, then sit in freezers until staff pop them into ovens for the finishing touch. What you smell is heat-releasing aroma compounds, not evidence that someone crafted a fresh loaf before sunrise. The sign says fresh, but the word doesn't mean what you think. In store language, fresh often just means baked on-site today. There's no promise it was mixed or kneaded within hours. That same baguette you paid extra for could have been stored in a deep freeze for weeks, with preservative systems built to withstand transport and long storage times. Factories design dough this way so supermarkets can thaw it on demand. Here's the truth. Food labeling has wide gaps that chain stores exploit. Terms like baked fresh daily sound trustworthy, but they're vague enough to cover bread made from pre-frozen, mass-produced bases. That loophole lets grocers offer you what feels like artisanal bread, when in reality it's a convenience product engineered for efficiency, not authenticity. The real trick is sensory marketing. Warm air pumps the smell through aisles. The crackling sound of the crust when sliced is meant to push you into a buy. Your nose and eyes override logic, and you think you're getting a bakery product made with care. Bottom line, you're paying bakery prices for bread that's closer to freezer stock. Next up, liquid health claims aren't as clean as they look. Number 2. Natural juice blends, packed with sugar. That colorful bottle promising all-natural juice? Here's the truth. It's often just sugar water with a splash of fruit concentrate. You see vines, orchards, and bright fruit on the label, but what pours into your glass is closer to liquid candy than fresh fruit. A lot of shoppers grab these bottles thinking they're making a smart choice. It feels like a step up from soda, a way to get vitamins while still enjoying sweetness. But front labels don't tell the full story. They brag about no added sugar, then in smaller print admit to using apple concentrate, pear concentrate, or other syrup-like bases. Those forms of sugar behave the same in your body as spoonfuls of refined sugar. Take orange juice blends. You'd expect mostly oranges. In reality, some are almost entirely apple concentrate with a little orange flavor, added back in using natural essence extracts. It looks and tastes orange, but structurally it's a sweetener in disguise. That's why dietitians warn it can spike your blood sugar just as fast as soda. You also lose the benefits of eating real fruit. Whole oranges, whole apples, or whole grapes have fiber to slow your digestion. Juice strips that away, so you're left with quick-absorbing liquid sugars. That means a fast energy surge and the crash that follows. Seniors especially feel that swing with fatigue or sugar spikes that stress the heart and kidneys. Here's the kicker. Brands use what researchers call the natural halo. Words like pure, pressed, or farm fresh sound wholesome, and packaging with fruit slices makes you trust the drink inside. The processing that stripped nutrients from the actual fruit is pushed out of sight, and your brain assumes health that isn't there. Bottom line, those bottles can carry as much sugar per serving as soda. The fruit pictures create comfort, while the nutrition facts tell another story. If that rattled your trust, wait until you see your olive oil. Number 3. The olive oil switch-up. Ever poured extra virgin olive oil over a salad and thought you were doing your heart a favor? Here's the truth. You may be pouring mostly soybean oil instead. What looks like a bottle of pure, cold-pressed olive oil on the shelf can be a mixture padded with cheaper seed oils. Store-brand bottles are some of the worst offenders. Olive oil fraud has been a problem for years, and testing keeps finding blends that don't match the labels. Supermarkets know you won't have a lab in your kitchen to check them. Instead, they rely on your trust in a brand name or a store logo to sell cut oils at olive oil prices. The labels make it sound precise. Extra virgin, cold pressed, product of Italy. But those phrases don't stop a company from stretching the product with refined soybean or sunflower oil. And once that happens, you're not getting real olive oil anymore. It's like paying for a gold bracelet but finding it plated brass underneath. It looks right, but the value is hollow. Governments have investigated certain batches over the years. Some failed so badly they were legally not olive oil at all. That tells you how common the trick is. And it's not only about authenticity, it's about your health. Real extra virgin olive oil is delicate. It contains antioxidants like polyphenols, and that's where much of its cardiovascular benefit comes from. Diluting it strips away that profile. Blends also break down faster, meaning rancid flavors and fewer nutrients long before you finish the bottle. The system works because shoppers rarely test. You don't open a bottle at the store and demand chemical analysis, so supermarkets pocket higher margins using filler oils. It's a quiet swap that punishes your wallet and your body. Bottom line, you're often paying for cheap filler at premium price. Look for certifications like COOC, Harvest Dating, or sealed quality marks. They're some of the only signals of real extra virgin oil. If that feels sneaky, the beef aisle hides another trick. Number 4. Grass-fed beef. That isn't what it seems. You see grass-fed beef on a package and picture cows roaming wide pastures, eating only grass until the very end. But here's the kicker. Many of those cattle still finish the last stage of their lives on grain. The label sounds like a guarantee, but the rules are vague enough that grain finishing is allowed while the packaging still reads grass-fed. The problem is that grass-fed doesn't always mean grass-fed all the way through. Some cattle eat grass at first, then get moved to feedlots where they're bulked up quickly on corn or soy before slaughter. That shift changes the meat in ways most shoppers never realize. You think you're paying for leaner beef, richer omega-3 fats, and higher animal welfare standards. But when cows finish on grain, those benefits decline fast. Packages sometimes avoid telling you this directly. Labels may say grass-fed, but leave out the phrase 100% grass-fed and grass-finished, which is the key difference. That fine print is everything. Without it, you're looking at meat that overlaps with the nutritional profile of conventional beef. It's like buying premium gasoline only to find regular fuel in your tank. The price is higher, the performance isn't. Grain finishing cancels much of the omega-3 gain, raises saturated fat back toward feedlot levels, and undermines the image you trusted at the shelf. It also misleads you on ethics. Consumers picture cows grazing open fields right up through the final day, but in reality, a grain finish usually means the animals spend their last months in crowded pens. Supermarkets and brands rely on the halo of grass-fed to charge more, but you don't actually get what that premium is supposed to mean. If you want the real version of grass-fed, you need to see wording like 100% grass-fed and grass-finished. Without those qualifiers, you're spending extra on a steak that's basically standard. From beef trickery, let's grate into the hidden fillers in your cheese. Number 5, what's really in pre-grated cheese. That easy bag of shredded cheese seems harmless. But here's the hidden twist. It's dusted with wood pulp. The official ingredient name is cellulose powder, a plant fiber ground fine and sprinkled throughout those shreds to stop them from clumping together. It keeps the cheese loose in the bag, but it also means what you're eating isn't just dairy. Cellulose isn't toxic, but it's filler. It carries no protein, no calcium, no fat. Just bulk. Some tests have shown pre-grated cheese with 7 to 9% cellulose. That's a lot of fiber you didn't sign up for when you thought you were paying cheese prices. It's like paying for a carton of milk that's been padded with powdered chalk. Looks fine, but you're not buying the full product you expect. There's another catch. Once cheese is grated, it exposes more surface area to oxygen. That leads to faster moisture loss. So not only are you getting less actual cheese in your bag, you're ending up with a product that dries out quickly and packs a duller flavor. A block of fresh cheese holds its oils and stays richer. Those shreds in the bag, they've already sacrificed taste for convenience. Think about shelf life. A sealed block of cheddar or mozzarella can sit far longer and keep its integrity. But as soon as it's shredded, it's fragile. Cellulose stretches the product weight, slows spoilage, and disguises that vulnerability. Supermarkets win because they trim waste and stretch inventory. You lose because every handful is part cheese, part additive, and part air. Here's the truth. Buying a block and grating it yourself takes under a minute. And you walk away with cheese that melts smoother, tastes fuller, and costs less by weight. Bottom line, you're footing full cheese prices for filler. Supermarkets slide it through because bags look clean and ready to use. From dairy dust to seafood swapping, fish labels hide even bigger risks. Number 6. Wild-caught fish. That's not. That wild-caught fish fillet? It could easily be farmed fish with a masquerade label. You picture open waters and lean, nutrient-rich meat, but what you take home may have grown in crowded pens, fed on processed pellets, and treated with antibiotics. The switch is common and you won't tell by taste alone. Seafood mislabeling is a long-standing problem. Studies using DNA testing keep finding these swaps, with expensive species replaced by cheaper substitutes. Tilapia gets sold as red snapper. Farmed salmon appears as wild. Retailers and suppliers count on the average shopper not questioning labels. And the deception works because seafood names carry prestige. The nutrition impact is more serious than it looks. Wild fish tend to have stronger omega-3 levels and fewer residues because they feed naturally. Farmed fish often consume processed feed. That diet alters the fat balance, cutting the omega-3s you expect, and sometimes adding more omega-6 fats, which can tip the scale against heart health. Farm systems can also leave behind traces of antibiotics or pollutants. When you buy under the assumption of wild, you miss the real health edge. It's not just personal health. Mislabeling pushes up demand for premium species, strains already stressed populations, and hides the footprint of cheap aquaculture. It's like paying premium for fresh spring water and being handed tap instead. Except here, the environmental stakes are higher. And here's the kicker. Price tags play the role of salesmen. A wild-caught label with a higher price makes you feel confident you've chosen quality. In reality, some of those higher prices cover fish barely different from commodity-grade stock. You trust the label, but the label isn't built to protect you. Bottom line, seafood fraud is common enough that experts recommend buying from trusted fishmongers, asking about origin, or looking for traceable certifications like MSC or ASC. These checks can't guarantee perfection, but they help cut through the fog. And now, the biggest supermarket trick hides behind the organic halo. Number 7. The organic snack trap. You see the word organic on chips or cookies and think it's safe. But here's the truth. Organic junk food is still junk food. The farming of the ingredients may meet organic standards, but the final product is still ultra-processed, loaded with sweeteners, starches, and oils that weigh heavy on your body. Marketers know exactly how this works. When you see organic in bold print, you relax. You believe you're making the better choice. But the recipe behind many of these snacks looks no different from the conventional version sitting 2 shelves over. The difference is only in how the corn, wheat, or sugar cane was grown. Look at the ingredients closely. You'll often find organic cane sugar, organic sunflower oil, or organic tapioca syrup. Those words sound cleaner, but when you eat them, your body treats them the same as refined sugar and seed oils. They still load calories. They still spike blood sugar. They still fan the flames of inflammation in the body. Take organic cheese puffs or cookies as an example. Flip the nutrition panel and you'll see nearly identical calories, fat, and sugar counts to the cheaper, standard version. What changed? Just the label. The word organic functions like a halo, convincing you that the contents inside are healthier when the facts on the panel tell you otherwise. It's like paying a premium for a filter on tap water when the glass still carries the same chlorine taste. The danger isn't only about nutrition, it's also about psychology. Research shows that when people believe a snack is healthier, they eat more of it. If you trust the packaging, you may double your portion without realizing you've erased any benefit from higher quality sourcing. The marketing tricks you twice. Once at purchase, again at the table. Bottom line, organic doesn't erase refined starches, added sugars, or the heavy processing that shapes these snacks. Supermarkets lean on your trust and frame them as guilt-free indulgences. But the profile is the same as ordinary junk food. Wrap upcoming, 7 common items exposed, but the real trick is what you do next. 7 everyday foods, 7 supermarket tricks. Bread baked from frozen dough, juices loaded with hidden sugars, olive oil padded with filler seed oils, beef dressed up as grass-fed, cheese bulked out with cellulose, fish swapped under false labels, and snacks that claim organic while staying junk at the core. The thread tying them together is the health halo. Labels and smells work on your senses, but the truth sits in the ingredient list. That's where you see what you're really eating. Subscribe now and I'll show you how to cut through marketing smoke and actually shop safe.